everybody, my name is Carmen Shenk. I'm the Tiny House Foodie and welcome back to the Right Sizing Your Kitchen video challenge. Today we're going to talk about blending and pureeing. Now this is a food processor that we talked about yesterday. This also has a blending function, and something like a Vitamix is similar, but this one has more features than a Vitamix, so this is the route I went. Any kind of blender. The Vitamix is a big one. This one is the one we've used in our restaurant quite a bit for making smoothies, and it's powerful and they're pretty indestructible. So this is an option that we used. There is also the stick blender. These gadgets are really fun to use, and I just used this the other day for making soap. So it's not that these things don't have their specific uses. It's that how can you simplify your life? If you use something like this once or twice a year, like I make soap once a year. Like I make soap once a year, but do I really need to keep a stick blender around for that? That's a really good question. Now the alternative to a blender, if you're in an off-grid situation, is to, and this is only really works for cooked foods. It doesn't work for raw foods, but you can use something like this. Now this is a food mill, and as you turn, the blade will smush all the food through the little holes in the bottom, and then you'll have your puree. Another option is to cook like potatoes, or I mean this is really great for potatoes, squash, apples, things like that, things that really do cook down to a mush anyway. You can also pass that food through a strainer to make a nice fine puree. And these of course come in all sizes. This is a really huge one that I used in the restaurant that I still really love, but you know, don't use it really enough to keep it. But that's an alternative to using a blender for cooked foods in the winter. You can pass it through the food mill or use a strainer, and that's another alternative, especially if you're off-grid, something to consider. So, like I said before, take a look through your collection and pick your favorites. Pick especially the ones that fit the purpose that you have in your life today, and let the rest go, okay? Now, I also used to keep a juicer. And there's a number of kinds. There's the slow masticating juicer, and then there's the bigger one that blends things a little bit more quickly. And we served fresh juices in our restaurant, and so I had a whole collection of various juicers, and I love them. I still have one of them, but these days I'm not using the juicer anymore, and I'll tell you what I'm doing instead. Maybe this might appeal to you as well. This is Ninja Red. It is a fruit puree, superfood puree. You don't have to pick a bunch of kale. You don't have to bring home all of that spinach. You can drink something like this instead. Now this is available at ninjared.com, and I will also place a link that you can look it up yourself. Now this is not available in grocery stores, but this is a pretty amazing product. And what I found was that when I started using this, I had less issues with struggling with focus. This actually really helps me focus. So make sure as you go through your blending, juicing, and pureeing collection of gear, don't forget about alternatives to keeping a juicer. You know, there are really great places to go get a juice these days. It didn't used to be so readily available as it is now. So you maybe can support your favorite local little health food store that's offering fresh juices instead of keeping that big piece of equipment in your own home. So that is another alternative. And again, I'll put the link to that in the information below.